Good evening, race fans, and welcome along. It's round number 10. Where is this series gone? It's the virtual Racing Aotearoa Sharp Apparel NASCAR series. And we are here for Iowa Speedway. Did anyone say safety car lap 1? I think they did. The drivers this evening have got 150 laps in total to contend with. We'll have the 50 lap stage 1 and then the 100 lap stage 2 here for round number 10. Of course, Iowa, Michigan, Pocono, Nashville, Sonoma, Chicagoland, Echo Park, Charlotte, Indianapolis, and last week, of course, Kansas. The first week of the chase. And what a week it was, and what an impact it has had on the standings. Scott Rankin now tops chase 1 by 1 point. Xavier Simmons in second place, Willie McLean, Bryce Harding and Hayden Guptill all in the top 5. There's only 3 points separating Harding from Dilworth in 6th. Logan Howard in 7th with Hayden Millings and Josh Merton all inside the top 10. Ian Gregory currently rounding out the top 10. Another driver who's only a point ahead of Hayden Warrington. So as you would expect, after round number 1 of the chase, it is exceptionally close up in the top of the standings, with Waddell Crossan, Stove and Lackey Brett bringing up the rear. They didn't pick up points last week as they weren't here. And in the second tier chase is Terry Leverage Watkins. He's got a 10-point lead. He really got the job done last week. So, yeah, Xavier and Scott might need to take notes. Jamie Harding in 3rd place with Alec Inslee in 4th. Murray Howell in 5th with Cam Galley in 6th position. As you can see, all those the rest of those drivers scoring no points last week, as only 4 of them took part in the race. So only 4 of them scoring points. And they'll be looking to do the same this evening, as we can see. We've got the grid up on screen. Eli Donaldson is a new recruit to the series, so he's not classified in the tier 1 or 2 tier standings, but he certainly could be classified in the podium. He's starting in 3rd place with Logan Howard and Scott Rankin ahead of him. Hayden Millings joins our newbie Donaldson on row number 2 with Corey Cross and Hayden Guptill 5th and 6th, Xavier Simmons and Hayden Warrington 7th and 8th place. We've got the first of tier 2 with Stephen Tears, Cale James 9th and 10th, Cam Galley in 11th place. Willie McLean is going to start this one in 12th position this week with Brady Stanley in 13th place. Luke Dilworth once again down at the back of the grid. He's going to start in 14th ahead of Bryce Harding and Aidan Gregory. Row number 9 is going to have Terry Leverage Watkins in 17th, Mark Grover in 18th, and Jamie Harding is going to start down at the back of the grid in 19th place. Quite a few drivers not getting a time set this week. Of course, Dilworth were used to not getting a time set, but I do think a couple of drivers may have had themselves a couple of issues. It's safe to say this is a difficult course. And when I said at the opening, lap 1, turn 1 safety car, that is not an uncommon feature of this racetrack. It is a very difficult start to the race that the drivers have got, and it's quite the interesting banking for a course this short. It has about 10 degrees less banking than some other courses of this ilk, so it really does put that extra bit of pressure on the tyres. So the pit stop strategies are going to have to be absolutely on point. The drivers cannot afford a misstep here, and these safety cars, it's going to be interesting to see if we do see anyone. Oh, someone down at the back of the grid. They're just finding their way into the pit wall on exit. Not the ideal start. I think that was Bryce Harding, actually. Oh, bless me. Get that one out of the way before we start. How was everyone doing this evening or this morning, if you do happen to be watching in North America or Scotland or Europe? Of course, very early in the morning here, late at night across in New Zealand where the league is hosted. Who are we cheering on in chat as well? Give us a shout and let us know. This is going to be an absolutely wild one. As I mentioned, Iowa, to say it is a tricky course is somewhat of an understatement. You can see there the embankment is steep, but nothing like some of the other courses that the drivers have raced this season, so it really is going to be a test of the accelerator, the steering and the tyres. That is for sure. As I say, 0.8 miles long, and one of the newer courses as well, built of course in 2006, so it celebrates its 20th anniversary this year, and we are putting on our own little anniversary party here with the drivers that we've got tonight. We've got 19 of them out for round number 10. There is the safety car pulling away. It's going to be Logan Howard and Scott Rankin, of course. On Eli Donaldson in there, an unknown quantity for the drivers. It's his first race tonight, and I tell you, if his qualifying time tonight is anything to go by, he is going to be a contender for the rest of the season for podiums. And here we go. We have green flag and we are foot down, and we are flying into turn number 1. Do they all make it through? It's Howard that holds on to the lead. Donaldson already getting himself past Scott Rankin. What a start he's got. Well, when he did it down on the inside line as well, he's lucky he didn't pick up a penalty. He does have a little rub of the wall there, but it's Donaldson who's got himself up into second place. Willie McLoone with an absolute rocket of a start. Oh, and Crossan is tumbling down the order, so we've got two big moves here. Crossan is absolutely tanked out of the running order, whereas Willie McLoone is rocketing up through the field. McLoone up 5 places already. And from what I can see here, Corey Crossan is now back down in 18th place. He is absolutely stood still as we see this four-way battle going on. That's Xavier Simmons, I believe, in the middle. Of course it is. That is his beautiful triple one machine as he pops up onto the high line there. Well, I'll tell you what, that is very close indeed. Side-by-side action, as you would expect from Dilworth. He's got Stephen Tears in there as well. We've got Levi Leoy in the chat, incroyable. Very good. I like that. I like that. As we jump on board. Oh, that is a big wiggle from Warrington. And yeah, we'll get to see here, folks. As I mentioned, the banking here, not as severe as you would normally get, or not as extreme as you would normally get at tracks like this. The big hump that come over on the way to turn 3, and that does throw you into the wall. Warrington perfectly highlighting that there as he has a little touch on the wall. He's currently running in 8th position, one of only 3 drivers who are still running exactly where they started in the race. Everyone else has already made changes, and Corey Crossan is a lap down and in the pits. So whatever happened to Crossan at the start, it's been enough to see him out of the, or certainly into the pits. So we'll see if he does make his way back out, as that is Simmons. Just making his way past Gupta. These two know one another very well from this season. We'll see if they can work together to try and encroach on this lead, because Eli Donaldson did get a good start, but Logan Howard arguably getting a better one. He is still holding a half-second lead over Donaldson as the laps are absolutely flying in. That's 6 done already. Such is the length of lap here. We're talking 24 seconds a lap at the moment. It was slightly quicker than that in qualifying. We'll see that pace pick up towards the middle of this phase and then drop off again. The pit lane reminder will close on lap number 48. The chase, the first set of points will get handed out after. The competition yellow will come on lap number 50. There we go. That one completely escaped me. But yeah, the competition yellow comes on lap number 50, so the pit lane will close on lap 48. So, I tell you what, that's another big touch of the wall again. Millings really is sizing up Scott Rankin here. Rankin, not with the type of start that we've seen from him so far. We're not used to seeing him dropping positions at the start. Donaldson really did get an absolute rocket. A rocket of a getaway to get himself up and chasing Howard and past Rankin, who's now got Millings to deal with. Rankin, do love that livery. It really does pop. In fact, all the liveries here are exceptionally good. Willie McLoone, quick update on our hard charger through the field. He's up to 7th position, and Luke Dilworth, not to be outdone, he's up 5 spots as well, and he is inside the top 10 and ahead of our lead tier 2 driver, which is Stephen Tears, who is rounding out the top 10. No, he's not, because Gregory has just gone absolutely flying past him there. It was in fact Gregory, I think they had a bit of an issue at the start. It was indeed, yeah, it was Gregory that touched the wall on the way out of the pits. It hasn't stopped him taking 6 scalps and getting himself into the top 10, and he's now leading this little group of 3 here, so I don't think it'll be too long before he catches up to the cars ahead of him and starts making himself some serious move. Tier's doing his best to hang on, while James is also, I tell you what, little touches of the wall again. This is going to be an interesting one. I'm quite surprised we've gone this far without a safety car again. Iowa really does throw a bit of a curveball for the drivers with the layout. Such a wide track, not a lot of embankment, and that big hump out of turn 3, turn 4, sorry, can massively throw you through a loop. No loop so far for anyone apart from, of course, Corey Crossan, who is definitely out of the race. He has been in. Oh no, sorry, my apologies. He is back out the pits. He is a lap down and he is back out the pits. So he is back out and running again. He is a lap down though. He's got a long way to make up. Although one safety car, one lucky dog, and he'll be right back in the hunt. We're still on board with Stefan Tiers, looking to hold on to the Tier 2 lead, and he's got a big gap back to James in the grand scheme of things. Yeah, he's got a solid. Oh no, he's 5 seconds off the lead, sorry. He's only about half a second ahead, sorry, of James. So that is still quite close there. Well, Harding not too far behind either. There is Scott Rankin once again, and he is closing in now on Donaldson, and he is closing in handily, it has to be said. This is quite the fight that we are about to see. This one that Logan Howard will be more than happy to be watching in his rear view mirror at this stage. We have 15 laps in, and it's Howard leading the way from Donaldson, from Rankin in 3rd place, Millings in 4th, and Simmons in 5th position. As far as Tier 1 points go, Rankin, of course, currently in 2nd place, Millings currently in 3rd. They've got Xavier Simmons and Javier Guptill. My goodness me, Hayden Guptill and Xavier Simmons. That was quite the combination to make up there. But Simmons and Guptill, 5th and 6th, so not far behind themselves and looking very quick indeed. Hayden Millings in a similar livery to Guptill this week. And that is a very good exit. That Toyota looked absolutely planted there from Rankin. I tell you what, he will love that exit. Eli Donaldson, not so much Oliver Farr as they go side by side behind them. Simmons and Millings are going to look swap positions here. Simmons making good moves so far. That's 3 places he's gained. Millings has gained an extra bit of concrete on the side of his car there. He's left a bit of paint on the wall and he's lost himself a position. Simmons sailing up the inside line there as Millings clipped the wall, and that is Simmons up into 4th position and now closing in on the battle that is going on ahead. And it is a battle going on ahead now. Donaldson fighting for his life here as Rankin exits turn 2, heads into 3 and 4. And I'll tell you what, they are absolutely nose to tail. All this playing in the hand of Howard, who is 0.7 of a second ahead of them both. And he is looking exceptionally good value for that lead at the moment. But Rankin trying to find his way past Donaldson. A new, I tell you what, as I mentioned, a new quantity for the drivers to deal with. We'll see how the side-by-side action goes. But I'll tell you what, Donaldson almost touching the wall there. Rankin taking advantage of that as he sends it around the outside. Very nice move by Scott Rankin indeed to get himself back up to 2nd place. So he is retaking his starting position with Eli Donaldson now back down to 3rd place. So the top 3 running as they were out of the gates. But Logan Howard absolutely trying to run away with it here. The lap time's taking a bit of a tumble as the tyres wear in. They've already done 20 laps. We are very nearly halfway through the first stage. And it's Howard that is doing a serious amount of work up at the front. He's got himself almost a 1 second lead over the rest of the field. It's Rankin in 2nd, Eli Donaldson in 3rd, and Xavier Simmons in 4th place. We'll see who takes the points at the end of stage number 1. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to see Simmons take a position on Donaldson. It looks like he is. He's got himself positioned nicely on that inside line there. Donaldson once again taking the high line as he watches one of the Tier 1 drivers almost take that position. Simmons is certainly going to be in the hunt over the next couple of laps, and if he does want to catch up to Rankin and more importantly Howard, He's going to need to get this move done pretty quickly because we are fast running out of laps here in stage number 1. You can see Simmons positioned perfectly behind Donaldson, but Millings is there as well, and so too is Gupta. Gupta will be able to close up here with these 4 cars, or well, he's going to try and close up. But I meant to say, with these 4 cars being so close and enjoying a slipstream advantage, they might well pull away. Now we see Simmons here, he just ran a little bit wide. He's opening up the door to Gupta now. I did think he was going to get the move done on Donaldson, but it looks like it might be Millings eyeing up a move on Simmons before that, if he can make it happen, and he certainly has the capabilities to do so. Simmons though, definitely got the capabilities to defend it, that is for absolutely sure. Willie McLoone, he is still gaining places, yet Millings in the 113 yet in the purple car. We've got, I was just looking as well, Luke Dilworth and Willie McLoone, they're now 7th and 8th as we can see on the standings. So they've made up 11 places between them. In fact, 7th place McLoone has made up 5 spots, 8th place Dilworth has made up 6 spots, and Aidan Gregory in 9th has made up 7 spots. So 5, 6 and 7 between the 3 of them. We'll see if there is any further improvements as Hayden Guptill that they have then got to catch up with. As we have a quick nosy just a bit further down the field, a couple of other battles still going on. These are the Hex drivers. We've got Terry Leverage Watkins, of course, currently leading the way in Tier 2. He is well down the order. He's currently running 5th in the Tier 2 runnings at the moment. So yeah, could see a big change over the top of Tier 2 come the end of today. Meanwhile, up at the front of the field, Rankin still ahead of Donaldson, and I tell you what, he's putting a big gap between them, or a bigger gap between them, as here comes Simmons once again, looking for the move across the start finish line. He's got himself positioned onto the inside line. Donaldson is going to have to win here, or it's going to end in tears for both of them. It might still end in tears for both of them if Millings can get himself caught up here. Donaldson manages to hold on to the position. Simmons not able to get his way past there. The Toyota's looking pretty good through the air, cutting through the air here, and Logan Howard just noticed that gap has dropped to half a second, so it looks like Rankin is managing to close that gap. It looks, is that in the background, is that Guptill? Yeah, there we go. Everybody's favourite camera angle. I love these cameras on the NASCARs, especially around these short courses like this. So we just listen for a moment and just enjoy the audio and hear the work that the drivers are doing on the accelerator in and out the corners. There is such fine margins they need to observe. It is absolutely incredible. So yeah, here's a quick listen to a race leader taking a lap and listen to just the work that he is doing on the accelerator. Oh no, we're going to have to get straight back to the audio from the commentator as well. You can hear the crescendo of the engine on the corner exit. Such a smooth transition as the engine slowly builds and he eventually gets the foot absolutely flat down. But I tell you what, the work on the accelerator he was doing has been massively outdone by Scott Rankin. While I was enjoying the sound of Logan Howard's engine, Rankin was enjoying the thought of getting himself up into P1 as we have only got 19 laps left to go here at stage number 1. It's a battle royale up at the front of the field, and I tell you what, Eli Donaldson is doing well to hold off Xavier Simmons. I mean, we know how quick Xavier is. Returning champion, and was leading the chase into round number 1. And he's only a point behind in round number 2. I tell you what, he is. Donaldson is really doing a phenomenal job there in 3rd place, and he could well be on for a podium here in his first ever stage. Well, of course, we'll see if he gets on the longer stage. We're sitting in this first 50-lap stage. Donaldson absolutely hanging himself onto a podium as Simmons. Look how close Simmons. Oh, and he's touched him. He's gone to the inside there, and Simmons has given him a bit of a tap on the rear as he headed down on the inside. Thankfully, not too much damage, it doesn't look like, for Donaldson, but that is a couple of places that he lost there. Simmons just tried to turn the car down to the inside, was a bit closer than he thought there. He's tapped the back of Donaldson, and Donaldson has ended up in the wall and behind Millings now. So he's down to 5th place, but he's got Willie McLoone, Hayden Guptill and Luke Dilworth just behind him. So Donaldson, we can call that curse to the commentator. As soon as I mentioned he was on for a podium in his first stage, he gets a bit of a tap. And he is now fighting to hang on to a position in the top 8 because McLoone, Guptill and Dilworth are going to be absolutely on it. So are these two up at the top of the field. They're absolutely wheel-to-wheel, side-by-side. It's Scott Rankin, and they're catching up to blue flags. They are catching up to Jamie Hardy. It's Scott Rankin. He's got his nose in front. Is he going to be in front on the corner exit? No. Back to Howard. It's Ford versus Toyota. Not quite the romanticised battle from Le Mans, but it certainly is quite the battle that these two are having. And we might romanticise this, these two side by side. Absolute beautiful driving. Oh, and there's been a bit of a touch there. Rankin didn't quite have full control on the corner exit there. It's just as well the wall was there because that has kept them both going in the right direction. But it has put Rankin up into the lead. Not here comes Howard back in the lead as they cross the start-finish line once again. And they've got Jamie Harding just ahead of him. Now, of course, in NASCAR, blue flags are more of an advisory than you need to move out of the way because, of course, it's far too dangerous in these races to try and lift, to try and slow down, to try and get out of the way for other drivers. So, no compunction for Harding to do anything too crazy for himself, to get himself out of the way. The rest of the drivers will have to navigate this one. Harding looks like he is going to stay on the bottom line, although Rankin take as much slipstream as he can from him as he now goes down to the bottom line. So I think he's going to take the line here if he can. Not quite got enough momentum, but he is going to drop down. So I think Harding will leave him room here. This should be enough to let Rankin Howard. Oh, and there's a little bit of a touch there, and that's going to stop the momentum of Rankin. Here comes Howard around the outside, but here comes Xavier Simmons. Can you get the Jaws theme? I don't know whether I played Jaws or Darth Vader now for Xavier Simmons. We'll find out at the end of the broadcast. Oh, Jamie Harding, Kingmaker there. He's touched Scott Rankin. Rankin has lost a lot of momentum. He's not ahead of him. Playing Billy McLean, 5th position with 11 laps to go. Is he about to find himself on the podium here in stage number 1? Howard still leading the way with Simmons in 2nd and Rankin just about hanging on at 3rd place. He's got Millings, McLoone, Donaldson, Guptill and Dilworth all exceptionally close, and these two are at the top. Absolutely nose to tail. We've got 10 laps to go here in stage number 1. It's absolutely anybody's guess who's going to finish. Certainly in these top 5 positions. Tears is 1.9 seconds down on Harding, so I think Harding looking good to round out the top 10 with Gregory just ahead of him, Dilworth in 8th and Guptill, well, from then on in, absolutely anybody's guess is as good as mine. And Simmons sends it down to the inside there. Logan Howard, I don't know if he made a mistake with the corner there, but Simmons absolutely leaving him standing. Yeah, confirmation from the race control. He touched the wall, and that was enough to see Simmons absolutely rocket to the lead. And more importantly, for Howard, here comes Rankin as well. Rankin now back into the inside line after a bit of a touch between the two of them. They are now side by side once again, but this time is battling for 2nd place because Xavier, the unstoppable machine Simmons, has gotten himself into the lead at stage number 1. Well, less than double figures of laps to go. We've got 9 left, in fact 8 left as we cross the line. Rankin and Howard still side by side. Are we about to see Millings or McLoone promoted onto the stage 1 podium because of the battle that these two are having? Simmons looking to break away as Rankin once again got his nose in front. He does like getting that car down onto that bottom line there, and he uses it to good advantage. He does need a bit more oomph on the way out of the corner, and that's the oomph that he's found as he takes and holds 2nd place from Howard. Millings is right in the hunt as well. He is just off the back of that again. The slightest misstep by any of these drivers and their positions will massively change. Eli Donaldson on debut had a phenomenal start to the race. Oh, but it looks like it is all going backwards now, although it's not so much going backwards when it's drivers like Luke Dilworth and Willie McLoone that are going past you. Well, Donaldson, he's not put up with this fight at all, or not done with this fight at all, and neither is Rankin and Simmons. The top 2 in the Tier 1 chase, they're separated by 1 point in the standings. They're separated by less than 100th of a second here on stage number 1, and they've got Cam Galley in 17th place. He's going to be the next driver that they look to go past. As I say, Cam down in 17th position. This is absolutely wild, because here comes Willie McLean again as the top two go side by side. Poor race director has got absolutely no idea where to look. Stick with the lead battle though, I think. It's going to be the obvious choice, and I tell you what, that is how to use the traffic there. Cam Galley doing everything he can to stay as much out of the way as possible. Xavier Simmons knew exactly what he was doing there. He got himself a good run on the outside line. Rankin got himself a little bit boxed in by the traffic. Here he goes again. He's going to have a run at the white line. Can't wait to see what these two guys have got to say about this battle after the race. I'm sure they're absolutely sweating bullets and grinning ear to ear in equal amounts as Rankin once again heads down to that white line. He does like to get down there. He's going to be using the tyres, but with 3 laps left to go at this stage, he can certainly afford to do so. There is 6 thousandths of a second separating these two across the start-finish line. Once again, we're 48 laps deep with 2 left to go before we hand out some points, and I can get a chance to catch my breath for the competition. Yellow, quite frankly. Simmons retakes the lead of the race. Rankin is about to stick it on the white line again. Is he about to get his nose in front? Yes, he is indeed. These two absolutely cat and mouse, no quarter given the last. No driver wants to be behind the other here. They're going to hold on to this side-by-side position. Let's have a look and see. There was 6 thousandths separating them across the line last time around. We're going to see the white flag after this one. Look how close these two are. Absolutely incredible stuff at the speed. Oh, and it's a little bit of a wiggle there from Scott Rankin. It's slowed them down ever so slightly, but he is going to get back down. He's going to hold that white line once again. Simmons is going to hold the lead. There's 4 thousandths separating them across the line this time. This is going to be the white flag. Here we go then. It's a run to the line for stage number 1. 50 laps deep here at round number 10, and it is nothing separating the top two. They're the top two in the tier 1 standings, and we can see exactly why. There is nothing to separate these two at all. It's Simmons who's on the outside line, but it's Rankin who I do think is in the better position. It's all about the tyre wear here. Simmons used the wider line, carry more momentum across the line, and it looks like he has indeed done so. And it is Simmons and Willie McLean while all that's been going on. I've been so hyper-focused on what was going on there. Willie McLean got up to 3rd place. Standing ovation, ladies and gentlemen. Willie McLean up 9 places to make it into 3rd at the end of stage number 1. That is an absolutely incredible drive. But again, if you want to talk about incredible drives, Xavier Simmons started down in 7th place. And he's got himself up into the lead here ahead of Scott Rankin. Rankin started in 2nd, finishes stage 1 in 2nd. McLean, of course, in 3rd. Hayden Millings in 4th. And it's Logan Howard in 5th. Hayden Guptill in 6th. Luke Dilworth in 7th position. Bryce Harding in 8th. Eli Donaldson finishing in 9th as everyone tears into the pits. And it was Stefan Tier. And that is a very, very, very good result for Stefan. The only driver in Tier 2 to take points in stage number 1. That could be absolutely vital going forward for the season. So we'll see what the rest of the drivers in Tier 2 do here in stage 2. As everyone... Oh, Donaldson's missed his pit box. Oh, Donaldson's missed his pit box. He's just lost an absolute mountain of time there. Such a good start to the debut, and then, yeah, managed to make himself that little bit of a mistake there. So I was just checking out the standings as well. Man, they are going to be interesting come the end of this race with that one, especially with Tiers being only Tier 2 driver to take himself any points there in stage number 1. Xavier Simmons, he took the top spot himself and Scott Rankin, as I say, separated by 1 point at the start of this race. And separated by very little across the line as well. Absolutely incredible opening stage to the race. There is another couple of cars just coming into the pits. They're trying to get themselves back on, or remain on the lead lap Corey Crossan has managed to do so. He's got himself out of the pits. Cam Galley and Jamie Harding now still in the pits as the field forms up as we get ready to go once again. This time it's going to be the 100 laps. And I do think there's now a high possibility of seeing some green flag pit stops. Although, you know, as a commentator, as soon as you say that, there's going to be 72 safety cars. No safety cars in the opening 50 laps, so I'll tell you, that is some performance here at Iowa. It's absolutely incredible. Yep, there is the wave arounds beginning. Now, who was that with the 15 on the side of their car? Okay, yep, so that was Cam Galley that was going past ISS Hex Energy. Yep, for some reason I've got us down as car 136, but there we go. So yeah, Galley will get back on the lead lap. Jamie Harding will remain a lap down. And we're already back into single file, so another 100 laps of running for the drivers to get their way through. I'll tell you what, Simmons and Rankin right up at the front. Did these two become a kingmaker for McLaren in today's race? I mean, Luke Dilworth, he is always a pretty safe bet for making an appearance on a podium, and so too is Guptill. Simmons and Rankin, there we go then, that is the green flag, and we are off for stage 2 of round number 10 of the Apparel NASCAR Series. Of course, brought to us as well by Sim Black Shoes. Thanks to the sponsor. I'll tell you what, Scott Rankin's going to be saying thank you to absolutely everybody there. Oh no, is he? Willie McLean getting a better run. Oh, I'll tell you what, Rankin with a big touch of the wall there. A double touch of the wall, in fact, as we see Willie McLean rocket past both of them. Absolutely not to be outdone. That's why McLean wanted to finish stage 1 in third place, so he could take the lead at the start of stage number 2, and he has done so. 11 positions gained at this stage in the race for Willie McLean, and he is now the race leader. So the top 2 in tier 1 have been put firmly in their place by McLean. He is loving life right now. He is leading away from Simmons and Rankin. Howard in 4th and Millings in 5th. Dilworth in 6th position. Harding and Guptill 7th and 8th. Brady Stanley making an appearance in the top 10 as well. He's up into 9th position. In tier 2, James and Tiers have swapped positions. Cale James has managed to get himself past Stefan Tiers, so Stefan taking the points from stage 1, but it's Cale James who is taking the position here at the start of stage number 2. Brady Stanley going side by side with James and Tiers, so they're swapping positions. Terry Leverage Watkins as well, making a steady ascent through the field. Let's get some glorious views of the front of Xavier Simmons' car, and there's Scott Rankin as well. Yeah, 47% humidity. I would expect that to be a bit higher. Definitely not going to be any rain here in Iowa, for absolutely sure. Something they don't get a lot of. But let's see if McLean can keep himself up at the front. He's got a long way to go. I mean, it's a long way to go until the end of this race. But being in the lead, not too bad. As Rankin really struggled to hold on to his podium position here as Millings has gone past him. So that initial touch of the wall out with turn number 2 at the restart there really has thrown Rankin massively under the bus. He's now once again side by side with Logan Howard in 5th position, and in fact Millings is really fighting back, looking to hold on. Oh, that's gone in. There we go. Sorry, one of the earphones ran out there. We've got Millings, Rankin and Howard with Dilworth not too far behind either. Dilworth will be keen to get involved in this. Eli Donaldson, after a solid qualifying and start to the race, he finds himself currently in 11th position, as we can see his number 18 there. Oh no, my apologies, that's not the number 18. That is Harding, who's in the tangerine and black. As a Dundee United fan, I should be able to spot those an absolute mile away. Willie McLean, he is not too many miles away from this battle. He's got Simmons that's still paying close attention to him with the battle behind. Millings is leading the way. Luke Dilworth, as we can see, his green 63 making his way up into the top 5. Not to be outdone by Willie McLean. That is Dilworth now in double figures as well. He is up 10 places. And so too is Bryce Harding. So Bryce Harding making his way up 10 places as well. McLean up 11 to the lead. So it definitely looks like starting outside the top 10 has been a master stroke here for a couple of these drivers as they're getting some very good positions now. McLean taking the points in stage number 1. And he is looking to get another good haul of points here in stage number 2. Stefan Tiers not having a great start to the second stage. He is down 2 positions and he has got 2 drivers now between himself and Cale James, who is leading the way for Tier 2. James, as you can see there, up into 9th position, and he has got Donaldson, our debutant, just behind him. So we'll see if they three can work together and try and encroach some way, somehow on what we've got going on up at the front of the field. What we've got going on is Willie McLean leading the way from Xavier Simmons. It's then Hayden Millings and Luke Dilmer 3rd and 4th. Bryce Harding in 5th position, and Scott Rankin now down in 6th place. He's got Hayden Guptill just gone past him as well. In fact, Hayden trying to get him around at the outside. It's going to be slightly boxed in again. Is dropping like a stone. We'll see what type of recovery drive you can get in the second half of the second stage. Of course, we're going to see some pit stops as well, so I'm sure a few of the drivers will be hoping for a safety car in about 30 laps time, maybe even 40 laps time. We can get beyond the 100 lap mark with the drivers look to come in. Of course, we see a safety car before that. Everyone will be straight in for a full service pit stop. Oh, I tell you what, Dilworth almost catching the back of Millings there. He does manage to back out of it. Oh no, I thought I saw someone have a bit of an incident there. No, Cale James just going past Eli Donaldson, Guptill and Rankin swapping positions again, and Rankin really is struggling to hold on to 7th position because he's got Logan Howard and Cale James just behind them. James looking to go one better than Tiers did in stage 1 and get a tier 2 driver further into the top 10. Of course, 9th position at the minute, so he is looking very good indeed. There's a bit of a gap back to Donaldson from James, so he can really concentrate on what he's got going on around him, and as a whole that is going on around him. Guptill and Rankin again going side by side. Logan Howard not able to encroach on the battle that he's got going on ahead of him here, and I'll tell you what, we could see Harding become a bit of a cork in the bottle. We'll jump on board with Logan Howard as he watches the battle across the start-finish line once again. Rankin holding on to that white line. He really does like being on the lower part of this track. He's been there for 90% of the race. Any action he gets involved in, he is straight down towards that white line. It's not holding him in good stead though at this particular stage in the race. He now finds himself down into 7th. He's got Guptill and Harding now comfortably ahead of him, and Logan Howard were a pole sitter from stage 1, or pole sitter from today's race. As you can see there, he led for 39 of the opening 50 laps. Now finds himself in 8th position for car number 12. Up and over the hump we go once again, and into the final corner. The acceleration quells, and then the crescendo, and they fire the car back out over the start finish line we go. That's already 73 race laps run and done. You've got 23 done, of course, of the second stage. That's going to run for 100 laps, so 150 overall. I want to tell you what, that is Howard just running himself a bit wide there, maybe hyper focused on what's going on ahead of him. He's got James just behind him, and yeah, if the tier 2 driver can put more tier 1 drivers behind him, I don't think he'll be overly upset by that. Willie McLean still holding a half-second gap up at the front of the field. Still an intense battle going on down in the middle of the pack, though. That, of course, Eli Donaldson now being chased by Brady Stanley. Stanley trying to get himself into the top 10 if he can. And if he can, it's going to be at the expense of either Donaldson or James. Donaldson looking the most likely victim at the moment. And Stanley, just with a touch of the wall, my meanest touches of the wall there, and here comes Stefan Tiers as well. Donaldson holding that bottom white line that we've seen so productive for Scott Rankin so far in this race, and that is a good move by Stanley. Pops that one around the outside. Here comes Stefan Tiers as well. I'll tell you what, Gregory He drops to the bottom line as Tears goes side by side with him. And I tell you what, Gregory, he really does fancy his chances of getting a position here. If he can. Oh, Guptill. Whoa, Guptill Rankin up in 6th and 7th position. They're absolutely in one another's lap there. I just saw a puff of smoke in the distance. And I think one of them has just ever so slightly touched the wall there. That has really changed up, as you can see there. The merest of gaps between. I'm not sure who it was, but I definitely did see a puff of smoke coming off the wall just up ahead of the battle that we were watching. The battle that we were watching, we've seen Stanley and Donaldson changing positions, but at the moment it's Guptill and Harding who are absolutely flat out trying to catch up to Luke Dilworth, who's made his way up to 4th position and looking very solid in 4th at the moment. McLoone looking absolutely solid up at the front as well, but he's got Simmons. Yeah, there's no irony at all in Simmons driving for a team called Fastlane, because he really is permanently in the Fastlane. He's only got 310 separating himself from McLoone. Millings, Dilworth, Harding, Guptill, Rankin, Howard, James, and then Stanley in the top 10. Oh, and this is Eli Donaldson. Again, the debutant. He has been absolutely in the thick of things so far. There's been an absolute baptism of fire for him. I'm sure we will see him back next week. Given the intense racing action, that he's been involved in just a little bit of a wiggle on the exit, and he's going to have to give that one up there. Gregory, who made a slight mistake on the safety car at the start, making a very good recovery. Well, is there anything better than ice cold water first thing in the morning? I really doubt it. But here we go. Stephen Tears looking to take spots with Donaldson. He looks to have lost momentum here. Donaldson to the high line. He's going to get pinned down by Gregory, so he's not going to get that move done. And here comes more moves from Tears. I tell you what, he's got Stanley right there for the taking. If he can make this one work, Eli Donaldson, again, just a little touch to the wall there. And he really is absolutely flying. It's full swings and roundabouts between these different cars and drivers, that is for sure. It's still McLoone leading the way from Simmons, from Millings, from Dilworth, from Harding. Donaldson just dropping behind Gregory. Gregory using that great effect, much like... Oh, and there we go. That is going to be our first yellow flag, and we did manage to capture that one live on camera. That is Aidan Gregory making contact with Eli Donaldson, the two of them massively into the wall, and Aidan Gregory there using the back cave entrance to get himself into the pit. We'll see if Donaldson comes in to get a repair. This is safety car pulled out. And we'll see if anyone else comes in. I did miss the lap count there. We were beyond an overall lap count of 80, I believe. So yeah, we might see some drivers come in. Yeah, there we go. McLoone coming in. Yeah, the whole field is going to come in. They're all going to come in for a full service pit stop. We'll see who gets the lucky dog as the rest of the field make their way in. As you can see, every car, yep, Eli Donaldson's just come in from 14th. The drivers that are a lap down currently are Harding, Crossan, Gregory, Warrington, and Cam Galley down at the back of the field. Everyone chopping and changing. Oh, looks like Cale James has stayed out. Has Cale James stayed out and someone's parked on the other side of the pit wall as well? Yeah, so confirmation, Cale James has stayed out. And it is Aidan Gregory, the Sigma Simsport driver, who is parked just on the other side of the wall there. So he is definitely going to need to get that shifted. And there's Cale James coming in. Yep, so he's got himself back onto the last lap. And in he comes, onto the lead lap, sorry. So he has come into the pits. But yes, we can see there, Aidan Gregory. Not sure what's going on with him there. But yep, the old sim racing meme comes to life. You can't park there, mate. So yep, you'll have to get that one moved. There will be a whole lot of yellow flags. That is not the place you want to be stuck. So yeah, not sure if he's having a technical issue or a real life issue, so to jump out the rig potentially, but we'll see if he does get that one up and running again. And when we do get up and running again, what a restart we are going to have. That is car 15. Sorry, George, can you remind me who that is up at the front there with car 15 on the side? It's not 15, and it's Corey Crossan, of course it is. Car 10, yeah, okay. So yeah, so that's Corey Crossan, who is currently down in 16th position. So we'll see if he gets a wave around, or if he is just going to have the, yeah, there we go, he gets a wave around. And that leaves the rest of the field to form up. Gregory's still sat on the wrong side of the pit wall. Hopefully that doesn't cause any issue with yellow flags for the drivers taken. We'll see how that goes. Oh, microphone is stuck. There we go. So we're going to go 2 by 2. It's going to be Willie McLoone, Xavier Simmons leading us away. Hayden Millings in third. Luke Dilworth. I tell you, he really is a competitor, as Luke. He starts down in the back of the grid. He makes his way up through the field. Absolutely incredibly. And I tell you, he will be absolutely in the hunt for the race win here. Howard and Rankin, of course, started up at the front of the grid. Took all the honours in stage 1. They are almost outside the top 10 here as we get going once again. Lap number 87. Oh, we've instantly got someone pulling over the side. That's car 171 by the look of it, pulling over to the side as the rest of the field absolutely crack on as McLoone and Simmons now trying to fend off Millings. I thought he might get the McLoone, but it's not to be. As Millings that's got a drop on him. Oh, we've got a car sideways. And there we go, straight after the restart, we've got another car facing completely the wrong way. And that's going to be another yellow flag and another restart. So there we go. None at all. Well, Cale James, one of the drivers, that's Cale there in the... is indeed just loses the back end, nobody near him. And yeah, sideways roadblock there for James. I can absolutely get on board with the liveries running. I do use those headphones myself for gaming purposes. So yeah, go Steel Series. Big shout out to them. But yeah, going sideways there. So no actual damage on the car. Just lost it and was, yeah, not so rolling, but was definitely a roadblock there. So yeah, we've got, oh, there we go. One of the cars trying to get his wave around there. One of the drivers still in the running, not quite fully aware of what was going on. But yeah, that is going to be the wave around there. So he'll join the back of the group. No one, unsurprisingly, coming into the pits under this yellow flag. They have literally all just been in, so we should get running straight away. Although, as I say that, Corey Crossan has come in. So he has come in from 14th place. So Harding, Eli Donaldson, we're looking to catch back up as well. He's now down in 16th with Gregory Warrington and Cam Galley down at the back of the field. Beautiful aerial shots of Iowa. And you can see there, oh, now somebody else is coming in the pits. That is Luke Dilworth coming into the pits. Okay. Yeah, colour me confused, the commentator declared. Okay, now is he has some kind of issue? Because he did look like he was rocking. Is that a technical issue that's going on, or I wonder what's happened? Anyone in the YouTube chat has any insider info on field? Luke Dilworth, because yeah, he is back in the pits. Although in saying that, I mean, as Luke Dilworth, he's maybe just strategised that if he pits now and there's no more yellow flags, he's going to have the best tyres at the end of the race. I don't know. I'm trying to throw some ideas that way. Sorry, getting some news coming in from the box. Got ya. did think it was. I did think it was something. I did think it was something along those lines. Yeah. So, well, yeah, but I mean, sorry, give me that again, George. Oh, it means amazing. There we go. In French, would I be correct in assuming? Got ya. Possibly. That's what happens when you get information from a McLaren fan. It's not always going to be complete, much like the race strategies. But I had to go there. There we go. News also coming in from the box. This me last week, so enjoy the comedy, folks. Willie McLaren and Millings we're going to lead us away on the front row here. Simmons and Harding will be in very close attendance. Gupta, Rankin, Howard and Stanley all there in attention. And something else has happened as well. Leverage Watkins has got himself back up to second in Tier 2. So here we go then. We are taking off. We are heading towards lap number 100, around number 10. I tell you what, Willie McLaren is heading to that checkered flag as quickly as he possibly can. What a start he's got. He's left the rest of the field scrapping over the position. Simmons and Millings now going to go side by side as we put Harding and Gupta right in there as well. And there is Rankin and Howard, the top contenders, now up at the front of the field. And Willie McLaren has got a very good looking rear view mirror there. Cars behind all scrapping away for position. Simmons now giving up the slipstream to Harding, and we've got Simmons giving up slipstream to Harding. Millings trying to give up slipstream. Oh, they're going to go 3 wide. Of course they're going to go wide. Absolutely. It's a 4-lane track. We might as well go 3 wide. Scott, I tell you what, that's a big wiggle there down on the bottom. That's Simmons and Millings that have managed to that one there. Harding just holding on to the back of the car there. Couldn't quite hold on to his position though, as he tears his way. Oh, and I tell you what, he's tucked in beautifully there, Simmons. Yeah, but here comes Harding straight back up. Harding not to be ejected from this battle too soon. Thank you very much, he says. Here he comes fighting straight back, and he's got his nose temporarily into third place. Simmons and retaking it for the moment. Millings holding on to second place. McLaren not able to get a breakaway with these drivers battling, given how much slipstream that they've got. And McLaren now within 0.3 of a second. What a battle this is. Up once again, holding on to that white line. You can see Scott Rankin in the background there. No one beside him, and still absolutely vigorously hugging the white line at the bottom of the course there. And he really does prefer to keep the car down there. We'll see if that is overly detrimental of the race. I have been disconnected. No, I've been reconnected. There we go. Temporary internet flutter. Everything froze. The drivers most definitely did not. Simmons and Rankin once again battling away. Yeah, but at this point in the race, it is not for podium position. As I say, yeah, not for podium positions at the moment. They are fourth and fifth. Crossan and Stanley. Sorry, bear with me one moment, folks. Oh, there we go. I don't know about getting my nose fixed. We could maybe just get the thing removed. Anybody know any nose removal surgeons? That would be handy. Willie McLaren 2/10 ahead of the rest of the field. We're of course watching Scott Rankin entrenched in this battle at the moment, and Eli Donaldson, who is tucked in there as well. He is back up amongst the top drivers, but he is in 14th position at the minute, so he is a lap down on the drivers around him at the moment. But he's got the pace to match with these drivers, so it's going to be an interesting run to the end. It's going to be an interesting run here up at the front as well. McLaren and Harding now separated by less than a tenth, or just under 0.2 of a second. So Harding really did get a good rocket out of that group while they were all scrapping over the positions. Donaldson again finding himself right in the mix here. He was racing with Rankin in the first half of the race. He is now side by side with him, but a lap down, and they're side by side up at the front of the field. McLaren doing everything he can now to hang on to the race lead from Harding. We have reached and breached the 100 laps that the drivers have gone through. We've got 50 laps left to go. And it's McLoone with the lead of the race. Harding in second, Millings in third, Simmons in fourth, Rankin currently rounding out the top 5. Luke Dilworth is still in the pits. So I'm going to run on the assumption that he has either had some kind of hardware issue or, if you like most sim racers, he has children to contend with. He may well have some kids he's got to go and sort out. We've already heard that this week here at TrackSpotTV in one NASCAR race. One driver had to sit out for 22 laps while he got the young ones sorted out. Got back in, did make it to the end of the race, so we'll hope that Dilworth can do the same. We've got McLoone though, still leading the way from Harding. We're watching this battle with Stephen Tiers and Brady Stanley. Tiers going for the win out with the Tier 2 drivers. Cale James has got himself ahead of Terry Leverage Watkins, who is our Tier 2 chase leader. A few more drivers out for Tier 2 this week, so we'll see more points on the board for next week, but it's going to be incredibly close in Tier 2. It's going to be stupidly close in Tier number 1, given there's only a point between the top 2 going into this race, and neither of those are in the top 3 at the moment in the race, so it's going to be all over the place. Simmons and Rankin first and second in the championship. They are fourth and fifth in the race at the moment. Owen Rankin really looking lively. He's looking to get one over on his chase rival here. Rankin, of course, with the 1 point lead going into this one, so Simmons knows job 1 is to get himself ahead of Rankin and get that point back. Job 2 is there to get points on the rest of the field. William McLoone could see himself promoted to the top of Tier 2. Top of Tier 1, sorry. If he brings home this result here, because he's got Harding and Millings separating them from the top 2. We'll get some glorious onboards here with Scott Rankin. Last lap 25.1 on the leaders, just on a 25.0, so McLoone really is good value for that race lead at the moment. Rankin doing his best to try and get past Xavier Simmons, or in fact at this stage, if I was Rankin with so many laps left to go, I tell you, such different lines at the take. Simmons much happier on that higher line. Rankin much happier down on that white line. I'm almost wishing that they both got on the podium just so I can ask them why the different strategies. Maybe just the different cars that they're in as well. So Rankin, oh yeah, Toyota and Chevy. So yeah, it's maybe just the difference in manufacturers that's encouraging the different lines that the two drivers are taking as they're making their way through the corners. Rankin though lost a bit of pace on that last lap there. Simmons taking himself a very, very, very good position and a bit of breathing space, all things considered, considering how close these two usually drive. That would be considered a gargantuan gap between the two of them. Fairly gargantuan gap up ahead of them as well. William McLoone only 2 tenths ahead though of Bryce Harding for the race lead. Confirmation Grover and Donaldson, yep, they are 2 laps down. Dilworth still in the pits, and Harding, Gregory, Warrington and Galley all out of the race, so we've only got 14 cars left in it as we watch a race leader tearing away with it. 110 laps in, he has looked absolutely solid this race so far. Started down in 12th position, made his way onto the podium in stage 1, and he is now absolutely ruling the roost here in stage number 2. He's got Hardings in second, Millings in third with Simmons and Rankin rounding out the top 5. Guptill, Howard, Crossan, Stanley and Tiers all inside the top 10. And we've got James in 11th place. Yeah, he is a bit far down. Stephen Tiers and Brady Stanley, they're absolutely on top of one another at the moment as well. And here you can see Stephen Tiers. He is trying to hold on to a Tier 2 maximum haul of points here if he can. He's got James just behind him. If he can get Stanley between himself and the rest of the Tier 2 drivers, that'll put him in a much more comfortable position. I'm absolutely sure We'll need to remind me to check mirror settings, and we can get that fixed for the next race. But Tiers, I'll tell you what, that is a very, very, very wide line. He comes right back down. Does Brady Stanley? We know Stanley is very quick. We know Tiers has got a decent bit of pace about him as well. So these two scrapping away over ninth position. But of course, more importantly for Tiers, he just wants to make sure he stays ahead of the rest of the tier 2 drivers to make sure he maximises his points haul, and then can work on closing the gap on Leverage Watkins, who's currently 2 positions behind him. We are 115 laps deep of the Sharp Apparel NASCAR Series, brought to us, of course, by Virtual Racing Aotearoa, sponsored by Sim Blacks as well. So huge thank you to them. The show so far today has been much like the rest of the season, absolutely outstanding, as we look over the back of Tiers' car there, and then jump back up to the front of the field where it is. As you would expect, Simmons and Rankin, they are still battling away, but it is for 4th and 5th position at the minute. Now they do have sight of the podium spot, and it is Hayden Millings. Millings looking a bit slow in that last lap, in fact, and that's letting them close it. They've managed to get themselves past Donaldson, so he can now breathe a sigh of relief and get himself running, although there is someone going very slowly down on that bottom line. That's car number 96, so that's Grover, who is 2 laps down, and Millings tried to get some slipstream there. I think that was a mistake. I don't think the car ahead of him was going as nearly as quickly as he thought he was. As we can see, Grover slowing right down there, letting the rest of the field go past. It almost cost Millings there. That was very nearly a cheeky little contact between the two of them, but they did survive, and Millings holding on to 3rd place. But for how much longer can he hold on to it? For Simmons, we know to be very quick, and of course Rankin as well. The two of them, they've been the main two here this season so far, and they are proving it again, likely to prove it again even further. And here comes Simmons. What a run he's got this time. Millings really not recovering from that touch of the wall. The loss of momentum really does compound over the next lap or two, and that seems to be the case. Although, just as I say that, Xavier Simmons struggling to hang on to the back of the car there, almost stepped out on him. He almost stepped into the side of Millings there, and this is giving Rankin a very good run at him. So what looked like Simmons going past Millings is now going to be Rankin going past Simmons. They're absolutely flying at the moment, carrying too much momentum on some of these corner exits. That little wiggle, a little touch of the wall, really, really, really can ruin your next 2 to 3 laps. That is for absolutely sure. No lap of ruining for Willie McLean. We've got Harding in 2nd place, Millings in 3rd, and Simmons still in 4th place as he really tries to wrestle 3rd from Millings. Harding and McLean are now are still again nose to tail. They're only within 0.2 of a second. These two, I believe, are working well together. They're both Sigma Sim Sports 2 drivers, so I don't think we'll see anything too crazy from them up at the front. Certainly not at the moment. We've still got 25 laps before we'll see any real battle between those top 2. I think, given that they are teammates and given how much of a gap they're getting over the rest of the field, it would seem absolute insanity for anyone to try any type of move. Just keep cutting through the air, leave these cars behind them, because they've now got a second back to 3rd place, where it is Hayden Millings still trying to fend off Simmons and Rankin. Rankin once again pulls it down onto the white line. He's got the inside line this time on Simmons. Has he got the run and the momentum? No, Simmons is going to just about hold on to this. Eli Donaldson still in the hunt as well. And yeah, he is. He's going to enjoy these races today, certainly, but it's going to be slightly frustrating for him to find himself a lap down on cars that he is clearly able to match for pace, as we are massively deep into the race now, and it is still this 3-way battle for 3rd place that we keep an eye on. This time Rankin using Simmons' strategies and tactics against him, trying to box him in with Millings. Nothing doing though. He doesn't manage to get the move done, so they will crack on as you were. Oh, Harding and McLean have swapped places. So Harding and McLoone up at the front of the field. Those two have swapped places and have swapped back again. They're going side by side. Now this is dangerous territory here for the teammates. You do not want to be going full Haas with less than an eighth of the race left to go. The two of them go side by side. Oh, and I tell you what, there's a little bit of a touch of the wall from McLoone. That's not going to settle the car at all, and that's going to give Harding a run down on Scott Rankin's white line to take the lead of the race. Harding got his nose in front. Here comes McLoone back around to the outside, so he's going to cross the start-finish line with the lead and then lose it into turn one. As they make the way in, oh, I tell you what, beautifully side by side by the two of them there. And this is, tell you what, it's not even playing into the hands of the drivers behind. They're still a second and a half behind. So they've got a lot of time to make up. And in fact, they're losing even more time, despite the fact that these two are not running nose to tail. They are getting themselves a little bit of a shake-up here. So I'm wondering if McLoone maybe made himself a little bit of a mistake. Harding left with no choice but to try for the overtake. They have resettled back into their original running order of McLoone, then Harding, and the rest of the field continue to chase. Can Harding make a move? Well, we've got 23 laps left to go on an absolute knife edge at 25 seconds a lap. It will not be long before we see a white and then a checkered flag. Who is going to be on the podium though? McLoone and Harding looking pretty good to be there, as we see someone just pulling off the track there. Didn't recognise that livery straight away, but someone just pulling off to the side there. I think it might have been Grover once again, just getting out of the way for the quicker drivers to go through. McLoone and Harding still going nose to tail, with Millings now still under increased pressure from Xavier Simmons. Rankin looking to try and find the chink in both of their armour at this point. Getting one overtake here can be difficult. Getting two, it's certainly proven to be tricky for Rankin at the moment. Guptill is a second down on this battle as well. So these three can fully concentrate on what they've got going on, and they're going to need to be fully concentrated, because here comes Xavier Simmons. He is down on that bottom line. He is side by side with Millings. Is this the time he gets the move done? Tries to hold Millings as high on that line as possible, as high on the embankment as possible, as he tears his way down on the bottom line. Can Scott Rankin close the gap? He's still got Eli Donaldson pushing him along if he can, but nothing doing for the moment. McLoone and Harding swapping positions up at the front again, so I'm not sure if McLoon's tyres are exactly where he needs to be, or if Harding is just the quicker of the two drivers, because they're swapping positions again. That's a big touch of the wall for Millings. Millings is going to find himself surely overtaken by at least Xavier Simmons, if not Rankin as well. Simmons really trying everything, almost losing the back of the car on that middle line once again. He does manage to hang on to it, and Millings does manage to hang on to third place. McLoone and Harding now are swapping positions. Absolutely at will. There you go. You can see them swapping positions again. It's Harding who's got himself a good run. Here comes McLoone, absolutely flying around the outside, and they're still gaining time on the rest of the field. They're now 2 seconds ahead of the chasing pack. So at this point, no team order. So let's just see who comes out on top at the moment. As Harding has got his nose in the lead, but McLoon's got the outside line, and he is going to finish this lap again, I believe, in the lead. It's going to be close. In fact, it is going to be very close. Harding getting a good run once again down on the inside line. Drifts over to lane number 3, but it is across the line we go. McLoone, that's the 5th or 6th lap now. He's been exactly 6,000ths of a second ahead of his teammate, but Harding really is building up some momentum on that inside line. He drifts out again to try and get some slips. Even though he doesn't, he pulls it straight back down. He really fancies a chink in McLoon's armour here. The two of them running absolutely beautiful. What an advert for the team, the drivers, and for these Camaros, because that is quite the race that these two are having. They have given up a 10th to the pack behind. We've got 15 laps left to go. What school did I not go to? But yeah, 15 laps left to go, and still plenty of life in the podium battles, that's for sure. Simmons and Millings, of course, the final podium position is still up for grabs there. Rankin trying to get himself involved. Terry Leveridge Watkins getting the move done on Cale James, our tier 2 current leader. finds himself back into second place. He was leading the way and got maximum points in stage 1. Tears has managed to get it done in stage number 2, and Leverage Watkins getting the move done there on Cale James to get himself back up into 11th position. The ISS Hex Energy driver having an up and down race so far, but if it's trending up towards the end, can't be massively disappointed. That is for sure. Milling, Simmons and Rankin still right on top of all of them. Saying that, Rankin is a fair bit down, and here comes Simmons. Is this the move that sees him secure a second place finally, or is Millings going to use that momentum on the outside line and absolutely tears away again? Yeah, beautiful driving by them all. Mark Grover once again finding himself in the thick of the action as Simmons really sends it down to that inside line once again. He's using slightly more tyres than Millings, constantly going to that bottom line, but I tell you what, is this the time he's going to make it stick across the start finish line? Simmons is up to third place. Is he going to be able to hold on to it, as Millings going to use that outside line once again to try and get back up? And where is Scott Rankin? Rankin, no place to be seen at the moment. Oh, that looked like a little bit of a touch there. Oh, and another bit of a touch there, trying to get down on the bottom line. Simmons holding his ground. Millings almost taking a bit of the paint off his door there as Scott Rankin has got himself Mark Grover, as you can see there. Grover in the 96, and he's actually catching up to Millings. Here comes Eli Donaldson. So two cars that are a lap down find themselves involved, and here comes Hayden Guptill. So Scott Rankin was looking good for a third place, and here comes Hayden Guptill. Like, Rankin is absolutely standing still there. Our tier 1 championship leader in the closing stages. He is hemorrhaging positions. This is not what he wants to be seeing, although you can still see Simmons a couple of spots ahead, so it's not going to be too big a jump back into Simmons' favour. Certainly McLoone is looking very good for a race result here with his teammate Harding, because they've now been separated by 0.3 of a second. So McLoone, after that extended battle with his teammate, has now got himself back into the driving seat to bring this one home. We've only got 9 laps left to go, as McLoone leading, Harding in second, Simmons in third, with Millings in fourth, Guptill in fifth, Rankin in sixth position. It's crossing the Stanley and Howard all up to 9th place, and then it's the tier 2 drivers. I want to tell you what, this is an interesting one for Guptill. He's got Donaldson on the outside. Millings is right there as well, and Scott Rankin. Whoa, and wow, what a save that is. I'll tell you what, Guptill there, he has just seen his entire sim racing life flash before his eyes there. So too Scott Rankin. That was so close to a race-ending incident. It is absolutely wild. Is there someone that's driven these cars? I can confirm Guptill is praying to everything he holds dear right now, because that was so close to a safety car. And I tell you what, a safety car in the closing 5 laps. Oh boy. I never wish it ill on the drivers, but if one of them wanted to have a crash now so we get a clean and white checkered run to the end with this field, certainly wouldn't be many complaints coming from the commentary box or from the viewers, I'd imagine. A few of the drivers might have something to say about that. McLoone is still leading the way, though. He's got Harding up in second place, Simmons in third. We're of course watching this battle here, though. Guptill leading the way. It's Crossan who's in the black car there down on the bottom line, and it is Eli Dawson who's a lap down in the orange machine just on the outside line. And there is of course Scott Rankin in the red and white car we have come so accustomed to seeing up at the front of the field. No front of the field for him at the moment. 7th place he finds himself in. I tell you again, it just shows testament to how good a driver Eli Donaldson is. He might be a lap down, but he has more than held pace with these drivers up at the front of the field. So he is definitely going to be an interesting addition to the league, and I dare say we could be looking at a tier 1 contender for next season. We've got a lot of races to go before we get there, though, so let's concentrate on what we've got going on ahead of us. I mean, we've got New Hampshire, Richmond next week. Oh, that's going to be a fun one. McLoone, half a second of a gap now. He's really put Harding in his place here. That battle between the two of them has been absolutely quelled. McLoone doesn't fancy sharing the lead with his teammate here. He's got 6/10 of a gap with only a couple of revolutions of the track left to go, and it's going to be quite the revolution if we only see one of Simmons and Rankin on the pit. Rankin down in 7th position. And I thought I'd read something saying he wasn't going to be able to make it tonight, so I wonder if he hasn't put in any practice or just didn't quite get his tyres. Oh my lord, we have had a safety car. We have had a safety car with only a couple of laps left to go. Be still my beating heart. Yep, so curse to the commentator number 2. I will take that one on the chin with a massive smile because we are about to have an absolutely glorious finish to this race, it has to be said. When the safety car comes out and sets these drivers back up again, we're going to have a green and white checkered run to the end of the race, and it's going to be absolutely on point. I tell you what, if Scott Rankin somehow shoots his way through the field, oh, I tell you what, they're all going for it. Some of them are going for it. Some of them, oh, he's pulled out. Rankin pulled out the pits. Rankin pulled into the pits. He's pulled out. He's decided there's not enough time left to justify a new set of tyres, and Scott Rankin has pulled the old Muhammad Ali rope-a-dope there to show them one thing and do completely another, and that is exactly what Rankin has done. He has stayed out, so he is going to chance it. He is going to trade tyres for track position. Had to make sure I got that one the right way around there. So he is trading tyres for track position, and Stefan Tiers looks like he stayed out as well. So Tiers has stayed out. Of course, that's Eli Donaldson, who will get a wave around. He is the oh no, sorry, Grover will get the wave around. Yeah, so Donaldson, will he get a wave around, or will he simply remain there? Stranger things have happened in NASCAR. I think yeah, we're 50-50 here whether he gets a wave round or whether he just starts the race where he is, because we do have another lapped car in that traffic as well. What an ending this is going to be. Tyres v track position. Who has made the winning decision? Is it Scott Rankin, who's decided on track position, or is it Willie McLoone, who's decided on tyres? And of course, Simmons, Guptill, Harding, Stanley, all into the pits as well. Croston and Howard, all inside the top 10 also. James and Leverage Watkins from Tier 2, they came in as well, so they're going to be running 11th, 12th overall. So Stefan Tiers, could we see one of the Tier 2 drivers finish on the overall podium? I will be out my seat cheering if that happens. Yeah, so if you wonder what the castanet sound is at the end of the broadcast, that is my knees giving way as I stand up too quickly. Scott Rankin, are we going to have a yeehaw finish? I did say 2 races ago, if he won, I would help with his customary yeehaw across the line. He did win last week, and I did forget about it in all the excitement, but we're on board for it here today. So yeah, viewers at home, maybe you want to turn your earphones down ever so slightly if Scott Rankin does make it across the line, because there will be cowboy hats and yeehaws right through the paddock and the commentary box. That is for absolutely sure. We have 0 laps left on the lap counter. The drivers are going to get started. They're going to cross the line twice, and we're going to see a checkered flag from there. We should see a full green and white checkered as soon as they take off. The safety car is going to pull in very shortly. Last bit of heat trying to be shaked into the tyres, and I tell you what, Rankin needs an absolutely incredible start here, and he's got Stefan Tiers side by side with him. Here we go then. It is the run to the line. Green flags, foot down, flat out, flying towards the start finish line. Scott Rankin already losing a bit of pace to Willie McLoone. They're going to go 4 wide into turn number 1. We've got 2 3 wides and a 4 wide there. Logan Howard absolutely in the mix as well. But here comes Scott Rankin. Full defensive mode. Willie McLoone on the new tyres. Oh, we potentially safety car screen, but yeah, checkered flag. We've got cars down. No, it is a yellow flag. It is another yellow flag. McLoone and Simmons both got past Rankin, but then we've got another yellow flag. The race will be extended for another lap. Now, what does Rankin do here? Does Rankin come in to the pits? Or does he decide to stay out? I think what the commentator needs to do is have a quick rehydration and a nice bit of frozen water. Oh, may have scooped that down a bit too quick there. Brady Stanley getting into it. And that is the 218 as well. Getting involved. That's Terry Leveridge Watkins. Oh, and they tried to avoid someone in on the wall. So there was someone made contact with the wall. They were actually trying to avoid that there. Kale James making his way through. So Terry Leveridge Watkins with a big, oh, I'll tell you what, Eli Donaldson. Eli Donaldson is getting a wave around. He is one of the quickest drivers on track, and he has got a fresh set of tyres on. I wonder. Could you imagine the absolute scenes of Donaldson, the debutant, after qualifying in second and ended up a lap down, just over the three-quarters mark way through the race, makes his way back up into the top five, potentially even on the podium. I mean, to get on the podium, there's going to be some battle. We've got Willie McLean, Scott Rankin, and Xavier Simmons there. They are regulars. We have got, there's Stefan Tiers come into the pits. And I'll tell you what, Scott Rankin is massively regretting that decision to stay out. He is going to have no tyres compared to the rest of the cars around him, and he has already been overtaken by Willie McLean, so he's going to start this in second place with Simmons and Harding directly behind him. Rankin now fighting to hold on to a podium here. I think Harding and Guptill certainly looking in a good position, and Guptill is no slouch when it comes to getting the overtakes done, and of course Crossan and Howard not far behind there either. We love these short courses. And such a strange race as well for the safety cars. I did genuinely, from what I've seen at Iowa, lap one, turn one safety cars are not uncommon because of the nature of this course. We didn't see a safety car in the opening stage, but here in stage number 2, this is our 4th caution. Of course, the 5th one being the competition yellow, which signalled the end of stage number 1. So 4 incidents in the closing stage of the race, 100 laps. And the drivers are bunched back up together once again. We'll see another extension for the drivers. Oh, and I feel like I should apologise for being slightly nasally today for the hay fever, but you know what they say, never complain or explain, just crack on. Let's see what McLean can do up at the front, and Rankin as well, looking to try and get some extra inertia in his tyres there. A little burst of acceleration, just about a little bit of heat in there, and his tyres, oh my goodness me, they are going to be old. He last pitted on lap 83. So it has been almost 70 laps. In fact, it has been 70 laps, and here we go again, another hit to end the race here. It is going to be the final couple of laps. Let's see how the drivers get on. It is Willie McLean back in the lead with Simmons and Rankin in second and third place. Got Stefan Tiers now down in 9th position, just ahead of Brady Stanley, and that is the 79. Old Scott Rankin. I tell you what, they've got all kinds of cars involved in Rankin. He's got no tyres at all. He is off the podium. He is done and dusted in this race. It is all about McLean and Simmons. No, it's not. It's about Harding. He has taken the position from Simmons. As we see the white flag, Harding rockets his way past Simmons. Simmons really now has got an uphill battle if he's going to retake that second place. He's going to hang on to a podium. More importantly for him, he's going to finish ahead potentially. Oh, Guptill with a bit of a touch on the rear there. He needs to finish ahead of Rankin, which he's going to massively do. Rankin, he rolled the dice and he went for it. Unfortunately, it hasn't paid off. That is the unofficial results there as we cross the line. I was so surmising about the tyres there that Willie McLean has crossed the line, and we do have our race winner. It is Bryce Harding in second place, and it is Xavier Simmons once again on the podium, making up 4 places. Bryce Harding making up 13 spots to get himself into second place, and Willie McLean making up 11. Absolutely incredible. Stefan Tiers bringing home the honours in Tier 2. We'll get a full look at the results in a moment, but I can confirm that Cale James and Mark Grover finished second and third, although Grover out of the race. He's already in the pits, and there we can see some donuts. That is some crabbing up the embankment the wrong way. He's leaving a beautiful 11s there on the track. I think he is going to try and do a whole lap like that. As we jump back to the studio and get the confirmed results for the race, of course, pending any stewards' inquiries afterwards, but Willie McClune bringing home the top spot. Bryce Harding in second place, with Xavier Simmons once again on the podium. This time it's third. It's Corey Crossan in fourth, Logan Howard in fifth, with Hayden Guptill in sixth position, Hayden Millings in seventh, Brady Stanley in eighth place, and then Stefan Tiers in ninth wins or brings home maximum points haul for tier number 2, and does manage to finish ahead of Scott Rankin. Cale James in 11th, Eli Donaldson finishing in 12th. Again, he is going to be one to watch for the rest of the season and beyond. Mark Grover in 13th, with Terry Leverage Watkins in 14th position. Unfortunately, Luke Dilworth, Jamie Harding, Aidan Gregory, Hayden Warrington and Cam Galley unable to finish today's race. I mean, wow, let us catch our breath for a temporary moment. We will get some interviews on the go. Let's see who we have joining us. We tell you what, no sign of Harding at the moment. So let's start then with third place, please, Mr. Race Director. We'll go from the bottom of the podium up, and we will bring in Mr. Xavier Simmons. Xavier, good evening. Another podium here at the VRA Sharp Apparel NASCAR Series, but my goodness me, did you have to work for us? Talk to us about that race tonight, because that looked epic.
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting race. First stage felt real good, obviously, and yeah, I'm not too sure what happened in the back end. Those guys started coming through the field, the likes of William Bryce, and yeah, they were just that step better. So yeah, we'll take third. Probably wasn't the most confident going into this round, so yeah, finish on the podium is always a bonus.
Indeed, yeah, because Iowa, I mean, I was saying at the start of the broadcast, Iowa is a tricky circuit. I've raced here a couple of times, and lap 1, turn 1 safety cars are not uncommon. This race, though, first 50 laps absolutely cleared, and then we see 4 with about 40 laps to go. It really doesn't disappoint this place, does it?
No, yeah, I thought the racing at the start of the race was epic. Everyone drove real well, and yeah, unfortunately I got into Eli there at one point under brakes, which I didn't mean to do, but yeah, otherwise, look, I think Bryce took 4 tyres at the end there, and it was going to be hard to hold him off, and Willie got a good restart, so yeah, there's probably not too much more I could have done tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like yeah, it was a great race. We did see that tap between yourself and Donaldson, who looks to be a competitor given the pace that he's shown, so a worthy addition to the league. You only had a 1 point difference between yourself and Scott Rankin. Scott deciding not to pit under that final safety car. He rolled the dice on track position, you rolled the dice on tyres, and it certainly paid off for yourself there, Rankin, down the order. So this puts you, I believe, into the lead of Tier 1 by about 9 points.
Yeah, I did see him do that, and it was a bold choice. He committed to it too, and yeah, good on him. But yeah, just didn't quite work out in his favour. Getting that second caution and getting the extended green white. Sorry. But yeah, overall happy with tonight.
Indeed, yeah, and we've got Richmond next week. A slightly longer course, Richmond, just as tricky though. What are your thoughts going into that one? Yeah,
I have a feeling it'll be a bit similar to tonight. A little bit more forgiving to Iowa, but yeah, we'll just have to see how we go. Some of these guys are pretty wicked on these short tracks, and it's probably not my forte, so yeah, we'll just try to pick up another podium hopefully, and just keep collecting points.
Indeed, yeah, well, we will be here to see it all unfold. Xavier, these races are absolutely incredible. Before we let you go, anyone you'd like to say a thank you or a shout out to?
Yeah, just big thanks to you guys for putting the broadcast on, and big thanks to the Fastlane Esports guys, and to our sponsors, SP Tools New Zealand, System Decal, Hartley Race Engines, 17RC, and Sci-Fi Media.
Nice, there we go. Yeah, huge thanks to them all as well. Xavier, thank you for joining us once again in the comedy box. We will no doubt see you again before the end of the season.
Yeah, hopefully.
There we go then, folks. Xavier Simmons joining us in the box from third place. Joining us now from the second spot of the podium, and with a solid claim for driver of the day, it is Bryce Harding. Started in 15th place, took points in stage 1 and takes a podium in stage number 2. Bryce, I'd imagine your heart is just about beating out your chest at the moment.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool run. At the first stage, I didn't really feel like I had much speed at all, and my progress was really slow, and then I figured a couple of things out, and then when I got some new tyres on, I just progressively made some improvements, and then when I put that last big stint on, the car just felt great, so I just went at it, and then I had that brilliant battle with Willie for what felt was like, I don't know, 50 laps or something. That was crazy. That was so much fun. And then we came to the final pit, just a couple laps to go, set up the green white checker, and everyone took 2 tyres, and I was buried down in 7th on 4, and I thought that might have been the wrong call, but then the repeat yellow and then another crack at it really helped me out. I was stoked to get back to 2nd after coming out in 7th after that.
Yeah, no, the difference in strategy at the end there, Rankin didn't pit, you took 4 tyres, some drivers took 2 tyres. Absolutely, Nick's safety car throws it out the window, and yeah, we love Iowa. And the battle that you talked about, I can assure you, plenty of that got caught on the stream, so make sure you go back and watch the broadcast. But how much fun and how intense was that? In fact, we're watching it at the moment between yourself and Willie, of course, the both of you, the Sigma Sim Sports 2 team cars, so you definitely don't want to go full Haas in that competition, but no quarter given or asked between teammates either.
No, not at all. Not at all. We race each other as hard as we race anyone else. We both want to win and do that. But at the same time, there's an element of respect there. We're not going to try and take each other out. But we can probably race harder with each other than what we can other people, just because we've got so many laps racing that close to each other. We kind of know each other's tendencies and stuff. So, yeah, I mean, there was a couple of times there where we touched and stuff, but nothing that was untoward. It was a brilliant battle. I love that stuff.
Yeah, Phil, I can assure you I'll be going back to watch this broadcast. That's one of the best things about doing this first thing in the morning. I get to watch the race back with my breakfast. It's awesome. We've got Richmond next week, another short course. Xavier Simmons saying he's not a big fan of them. Clearly you and Mr. McClune decent around the short tracks. How are you looking forward to Richmond next week?
I don't know if I've done a race in these cars at Richmond before.
Ooh.
Not sure. If I have, it was a long time ago. Yeah, I like the track, so it'd be interesting to see how it races. If it races anything like the real life cars did over the weekend, then it'll be awesome.
Yes.
They were racing multi-lane, using the whole track. Maybe it'll be more like the racing we saw tonight. Hopefully. Yeah, fingers crossed. If we get a repeat of real life Richmond, I will be one very happy man, that is for sure. Before we let you go, Bryce, anyone you want to say a thank you or a shout out to? I just want to thank you guys for doing the stream. Just thanks to all the Sigma boys, and thanks to everyone that showed up. I know it was a small field today, but hopefully we turned on the entertainment. Hopefully we can get a bigger field next week.
Well, yes, the entertainment was turned up to 11, that is for sure, Bryce. Congratulations on today's podium, and very much looking forward to seeing what you do for the rest of the season.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
There we go then, folks. Bryce Harding finishing in second place. He did slightly outdo his teammate Willie. Willie only managed to make up 11 places. Half measures here, Willie, but he did bring home the race win. How was that for you, Willie? You seem to be a bit of a short track specialist there, taking points in stage 1 and in stage 2 there, despite starting down in 14th position. What a performance.
Yeah, I do enjoy short tracks, probably more than the others, but yeah, I don't know. I didn't expect to do as well as I did today. I kind of just started off the back and, close to the back. And I actually pushed quite hard in the first little stint there to try and make up a bit of track position and hope for a bit of a yellow. And then surprisingly had quite a bit of speed at the end of that run. And I was starting to catch those two boys at the front there. So that was kind of pleasing. And then, yeah, came out and just basically pushed hard for the rest of the race. Didn't tire save at all.
No, it didn't look like it, to be fair. There was a lot of rubber left on the track and not much left on the rims for quite a few cars there. Yeah, Bryce was talking to us about that battle. I mean, we've got it on the replay at the moment between yourself and Bryce. It looked absolutely incredible. And as he's saying, yeah, you may be teammates, but you will race as hard against one another as you will against anybody else. How much fun did you have with that battle for the lead up there with Bryce?
Absolutely, yeah. We race each other just as hard. Yeah, no, it's pretty fun actually. Yeah, well, I kind of had no rear tire and he had no front tire, so it kind of balanced out. And I think that's how we kind of battled side by side for so long, because his car was slightly better in places and my car was slightly better in places. But no, that was actually heaps of fun. I was enjoying that.
Well, I can assure you, it was an absolute spectacle on screen as well, and that might be the new meta strategy for the teams. If the teams offset the tyre wear, one takes bad front tyres, one takes bad rear tyres, and away you go. And talk to us at the end there as well, that final pit stop that you took before during the penultimate safety flat. How many tyres did you take there? Because we've seen a big, obviously, Scott Rankin stayed out. He rolled the dice. He's ended up dropping down the order. Bryce took 4 tyres and rocketed up from 7th. How many did you take at the final pit stop?
Yeah, I just took 2. I noticed that in my last pit stop, my left side tyres weren't actually that worn, but they were hot in the end, because on that last restart, I was spun quite a bit off the start, but I was just lucky that I was starting off the front, so that kind of helped me. But I think, well, 2 tyres was definitely the play for me. But yeah, I don't know, it was a hard one to pick. Yeah.
Listen, it's one of those things, you choose your strategy, either become a hero or a zero. You throw the dice, you either get Yahtzee or you get kicked out of the casino. It's one of the two. We've got Richmond coming up next week, another short track. And Xavier's saying that you and Bryce definitely seem to be a couple of short track specialists. How are you looking forward to Richmond next week?
Yeah, I enjoy Richmond. Luke will be the one to watch there. He's pretty quick there. So Luke Dilworth, yeah. So he'll be one to watch next week. But yeah, no, we should be there or thereabouts.
Nice. Well, we will certainly be here or hereabouts watching. Before we let you go, of course, anyone you'd like to say a thank you or a shout out to?
I'm sure Bryce thanked everyone.
He couldn't get him a shot up. No, I'm looking. Listen.
Well, that's not unusual.
I love it. A bit of inter-team shade. No shade thrown at the Sigma SimSport 2 though. Between the two of you, you made up 24 places in the race between you to take the top 2 spots. That is some performance, Willie. Yeah, huge congratulations on that, and very, very, very excited to see how the rest of the season plays out here for the Tier 1 drivers.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, that'll be good.
It will indeed. There we go, folks. Willie McLoone joining us from the top spot there. 13 places made up by his teammate, 11 made up by Willie, to see him take the top spot here at round number 10 of the Sharp Apparel NASCAR Series, of course brought to you in conjunction with Sim Blacks as well, all here live on TrackSpotTV. We will have an updated look. Oh no, there we go. We'll get the standings up for next week. Of course, that is all we have got time for. Thank you to everyone that is liking and subscribing on TrackSpot and on the NZ YouTube channels. Your continued support, massively, massively appreciated. Although we're racing like this, it's pretty hard not to. Until next time, when we see you all for 130 laps of Richmond, stay safe, take it easy, and have a great rest of your night. Good night.